This is the McLaren that the commentator was telling you about just now. She's a 4-inch scale model, which is 1/3 the size of the original traction engine. The full-sized engines were built to pull the big guns during World War I, but never saw service. One was converted into a showman's engine, but has since been restored to its original design. It looks quite a large model, as the McLaren was such a massive engine. She's being driven by David Cleal, who, I better just blow my own trumpet, is my beautiful son. The next engine is an Aveling and Porter called Vera May. She was built in 1923 and bought by Bournemouth Corporation. She spent her entire working life spraying tar and rolling, and she was purchased by her present owner in 2002. She's being driven by Gary Richards, her owner, and Jess is his daughter, and she's the driver's mate. And my son, who I'm going to embarrass again, is just driving past me underneath, and I'll wave at him and he'll thump me later. Engine number 4 is called Daffodil. She's owned by Nigel Isaacs. She's a Burrell of 1924, and she's a rolled roller and was supplied to S.A. Carlion of Cornwall. She was then sold to Dingle & Sons, also in Cornwall, where she worked for many years. She was then bought by James Cockrell of Amesbury and used to roll the foundations of Boscombe Down Aerodrome. In 1970, Derek Isaac purchased Daffodil from Bob Ansell of Sussex. Then in 1984, Derek and Nigel decided to sell her, but they found they missed her so much they brought her back in 1987 and have continued to restore her to her present state. Today she's being driven by Nigel Isaac. The next engine is a miniature. It's a 4.5 scale Burrell, and it was built in 1998 from the drawings and castings of a company called Plasto. She was bought in 2007 as an unfinished project and not running. Nigel Isaac, the man in the engine that was before that, is the father of the 2 boys who he built the engine for, Nick and Ben. Pipsqueak is being driven by Nick, and Ben is his mate. Engine number 7 is an Aveling and Porter engine, and it was supplied new to a contractor, Stanley North, of Selhurst, South London in 1926. Mr. North had a large fleet of engines which were all sold in the late 1930s. She then had a couple more owners who used her for rolling, and in 1964 was sold into preservation for £50. In 1980, she had extensive work carried out and was then acquired by Nick Fields in 1991, who has continued to work on this lovely engine. She's being driven by her owner Nick, and driver's mate is Adam. Yeah, that's my one. Engine number 5. This is a 1926 Babcock and Wilcox engine called Monarch, and she was sold new to Mr. Buncombe of Somerset in 1926. She was last used commercially on Portland Bill in 1965 and then sold into preservation for £65 to Mike Doherty 22 years ago. She is being driven by her owner Mike. Mike Doherty is the owner of this engine. Engine number 6 is owned by Robert Newman. Rosie is a Fowler engine and was originally supplied to Perth and Kinross County Council on the 17th of May 1924. Very precise date. She was used by them until 1965. She was then used on the Alvey estate in Inverness until the mid-1960s. Sometime in the 1980s she was refurbished, steamed back to the Alvey estate, stored under cover, and apparently used by chickens as a nesting box. Several eggs were found in the ash pan when it was emptied. She had several owners before it was bought in 2001 by the present owner, Robert Newman, who was also driving her.